So today we're going to look at yoga during menstruation. So this is one especially for the ladies. And the practice that we're going to do is inspired by Geeta Iyengar, who is Mr. Iyengar's daughter, and she is a very helpful guide on how to practice yoga during menstruation, during your moon days. So I've taken inspiration from her writings and ideas, and she suggests that we don't do anything that's strenuous or puts strain on the body, because it's a time of the month that I'm sure you know as a woman that we tend to feel a little bit less energy. We need to look after ourselves and be a little bit softer and gentler with ourselves. So we avoid inversions, arm balances, even strong standing poses. So as we go through this practice today, please, more than usual, be aware of how you're feeling. And if anything feels like it's creating strain or tension, be that physical or mental, to just ease off and come into a relaxation. So we're going to practice a few standing poses, and if for you feel that it's a little bit much and you start to feel that physical tension building, I really urge you to come back down and lie down either in child's pose or shavasana. So please listen to your body and how you feel, and just use this practice in the best way that serves you. Okay, so we'll start by sitting comfortably, taking the spine nice and tall, relaxing the shoulders, and closing the eyes. Take a few deep breaths. So arriving on your mat, connecting to your breath, connecting to your body. And we'll start with a single Om. So we'll inhale together. And blinking the eyes open. So let's start. We're going to start with the shoulders and the neck. So we'll start with lovely big shoulder rolls. I always really like starting my classes like this. We start just gently, gently waking the body up, bringing some movement. So feel free to roll the shoulders in whichever way feels good for you. So that might be one at a time or both together, backwards and forwards, getting into the full range of movement that we have in the shoulders. And releasing, relaxing them down. We'll come to some neck rolls. So starting by dropping the chin down towards the chest. And then rolling the left ear to the left shoulder. Coming back to center. And rolling right ear to right shoulder. We'll carry on like this. And keep the shoulders relaxed as we roll. So in your own time, rolling from one side to the other, keeping the shoulders relaxed. And one more time to each side. And then allowing the chin to come back to the chest in the center, holding it there for a few breaths. Keep drawing the shoulder blades back behind you. And lifting the head back to center. We'll come now to circle the torso as we're seated. So we'll change the cross in the legs. Just bringing one foot in front of or on top of the other. And circling the torso. So this, again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. And to circle in your own time, at your own speed, whatever feels good for you. Getting a little stretch out of any parts that feel like they need some movement. Try to keep the head and the neck relaxed so they're moving with the circles rather than holding steady in the middle and changing the direction. So these circles of the torso were inspired by my teacher Shiva Ray in something that she calls prana yoga. And we start to move with the different pranas, the life force. So in yoga we call the life force prana. In other traditions we call it chi. So we'll take one more complete circle and then finding your way back to center. So from here we're going to rock forward onto all fours. So rocking forward, taking your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Making sure there's enough space in between the hands and the knees for the spine to be nice and long. So we don't want the hands too close so that we're all bunched up to start with. We want to have lots and lots of space. So cat and cow breaths, arching the spine in one direction and arching the spine in the other direction. So keep this wave motion of the spine flowing, arching one way and then the other. Feeling a little bit of movement start to make its way in between each vertebra, as well as feeling the whole movement of the spine like a continuous wave. We'll take this movement a little bit further by starting to circle the torso as we reach the spine in both directions. So this is a really lovely way to start to open and stretch into the side bodies, the shoulders, the hips, and feel free to make this movement your own. So I'm suggesting to move the torso in circles, but if you feel that the shoulders need a little bit more opening or the hips, feel free to move in whichever way feels good for you. We'll take the circle in the opposite direction. Again, keeping the head and the neck relaxed so they're flowing with the circular movements. Keeping the breath flowing deep and even in and out of the lungs. And coming back to center with the shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. With the breath now, as we exhale, sinking the sit bones back to the heels. Inhaling, rocking forward. Again, exhaling, sinking back. Inhaling, rocking forward. Starting with the left arm, taking the fingertips down the side of your mat as we exhale back. Inhaling, reaching the arm up and over, coming all the way back down. And again, exhaling back. And inhaling, reaching, taking the gaze to the fingertips, opening the chest. And last time, reaching back, inhaling, gazing up to the fingers. As the hands come back to meet each other, we'll take that left hand directly underneath the right and come down onto the shoulder to come into a gentle twist. So relaxing the head and the neck directly onto the mat. Trying to keep the hips level, so keep drawing both hips back evenly and deep breaths into the spine. So draw the breath all the way into the lungs and visualize it traveling all the way to the base of the spine. Relaxing completely the head and the neck and the shoulder. You can keep using your right hand as a gentle support, and then pressing into the right hand, coming back up to all fours. We'll come straight back to our rocking back, exhaling back, inhaling forward, exhaling back, inhaling forward. Now for the right side, Exhaling, drawing the fingertips back behind you and reaching up. Inhaling, gaze to the fingertips. And reaching back, exhaling. Inhaling, opening the chest. And one last time. Circling all the way around as the hands come back to meet each other. Taking the right hand just underneath the left, coming down onto the shoulder. Again, relaxing the neck and the head, resting onto the mat. You can keep the left hand there as a support. Keep drawing both hips back so the spine stays long. Soften and breathe. Pressing firmly into the left hand to raise yourself back up to all fours. We'll take the toes together, the knees as wide as your mat, and take the sit bones down onto the heels. Keep reaching the fingertips forward, and then eventually softening the forehead down onto the mat, relaxing completely in wisdom pose. We'll take a few breaths here, allowing the body to completely settle, relax, allowing the breath to be soft and natural. So rocking up back to all fours, taking the shoulders over wrists and hips over knees. We're going to tuck the toes under and press lightly back to downward facing dog. So this is where we're going to start to come into some of the standing poses, and if you feel these are not right for you today, feel free to stay in downward dog, stay down on the knees in wisdom pose, or any other variation of poses that you'd like for the next few minutes. So in downward dog, we'll press firmly into the hands, draw the heels down behind, just shake the head from side to side, releasing the neck, releasing the head forward, backwards and forwards, pressing the thighs back behind you and making any adjustments. So maybe bending one knee, flexing the other leg, making little stretches, anything that feels good to the body. So if we're coming to the standing poses, we'll start to walk the hands slowly back towards the feet, allowing the heels to come down and keeping the torso low in the fold. So just turn the toes a little bit in towards each other to keep the sacrum nice and open, holding onto each elbow with each hand, allowing the head and the torso to be completely heavy and relaxed. We'll take a gentle bend to the knees and just sway the torso from side to side. Lengthening gently, gently through both sides of the body. I find that movements like this, when I'm on my moon days, are just so relaxing and soothing. That is what we really need, soothing in this time. To self-soothe. So coming back to center, interlinking the hands now behind, keeping the knees a little bit bent. If you'd like to straighten them, feel free. Reaching the arms up overhead. So it might be that we're lifting the arms up away from the body and that's as far as we can go. Or if we're a little bit more flexible, we can fold in and drop the arms down overhead. Wherever we are, opening into the shoulders. Deep breaths. And releasing the hands down, allowing the hands and the arms, the head to be heavy as we slowly, slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time. Coming all the way up to stand, and once we reach our standing position, we'll circle the shoulders. Just opening and circling the shoulders. That's lovely. So now we're going to step the feet wide on the mat. So we'll take the feet as wide as you can, maybe between 3.5 and 4 feet wide. And for this, we're going to take a block to help us. So we'll just pop the block in front of you. Taking the hands onto the hips, lengthening the spine, we'll fold gently forward, making sure the toes are just very slightly turned in towards each other. So with a nice long spine, we'll fold forwards, opening the heart as we do. And from here, taking the hands down underneath the shoulders, so we come to a half fold. So we're going to fold down as much as we can here, and we'll use the block to help support the head. So obviously the block at its highest point here, walking the hands a little bit closer towards the feet if you can, and resting the head on the block. So we're supporting the head so that the body, the torso can totally relax and let go, keeping the legs strong, so we keep drawing the knees up into the thighs, so we're keeping the muscular energy strong in the legs. If this, having the block high, is easy for you, you can try to come down a little bit lower. And if you don't need the block at all, obviously you can rest on the ground, or you can keep working with the block until you find a perfect height for you. So wherever you are, we'll take a few deep breaths here in this fold. And I remind you that if at any stage you feel a little bit too much tension, mental or physical, building in your body, just totally back off, come back down to the mat and rest and relax. 2 more breaths here. And on the inhale, walking the hands forward, coming back underneath the shoulders. We'll replace the hands onto the hips and come all the way back up to stand. That's great. So moving the block out of the way, we'll come back down onto the mat and we'll sit on the heels. So sitting at the end of your mat on the heels, rolling the shoulders back. We'll take a few moments just to allow the body to settle back down to the ground after the standing poses. So closing the eyes. If it's not comfortable to sit on your heels, feel free to sit in any other variation, any other seated pose, legs crossed. So when we have our menstrual cycle, our moon days, it's really important to connect with ourselves and allow ourselves to go through this time, to experience the low energy, to experience maybe some physical discomforts, and not to push ourselves forward to continue doing our usual daily routine, but to give ourselves time and rest so that we can recover, so that we can start the next cycle feeling refreshed rather than exhausted. Okay, so we'll come back to sit on your mat in a comfortable cross-legged position. Sitting up nice and tall. We'll take a gentle twist. So twisting first of all around to the left, taking the right hand onto the thigh, taking the left hand onto the fingertips just to the base of the spine, helping to keep the spine nice and tall. Turning the gaze over the shoulder, deep breaths as we twist. Filling the lungs, keeping the shoulders relaxed, keeping the chin in line with the ground. Coming back to center and twisting in the opposite direction. Lovely deep breaths. And coming all the way back to center. Now we're going to spread our legs wide. So taking the legs as wide as you can manage, keeping the toes pointing up to the ceiling, so we're lengthening through each part of the leg, each side of the leg equally. So the legs nice and wide. If you feel like you don't want to open your legs to your absolute wide as possible, that's absolutely fine. Just coming to wherever is comfortable and wherever feels restful for you. So here we'll fold gently forward. So make sure that we're sitting on the front or the top of the sit bones, gently walking the hands forward. And again here, if you feel like staying here is great for you today, that's fine. So let's really take this opportunity in our practice rather than pushing ourselves 110%, rather than pushing ourselves to achieve. We'll push ourselves to rest and really listen to ourselves. That can be our greatest achievement in the practice during this time, is to listen and do what's right, what's really right for us. So we'll take a few breaths here, just closing the eyes, allowing the chin to soften towards the chest. Deep breaths into the abdomen. So these folding forward poses are very good for us during the menstrual cycle, especially if we suffer from headaches or backaches or heavy flow. They can be a real treat to the body. And slowly walking the hands back, coming back up to sit straight. We'll bend the knees, so just help the knees to bend by taking the fingertips underneath and bringing the soles of the feet together. So Baddha Konasana, allowing the knees to drop out to the sides. So once again, don't feel under pressure to fold so deeply forward and bring the heels right in towards you. Just staying where feels good. So we can hold onto the feet or the ankles, nice and tall with the spine, and gently folding. Again, closing the eyes, softening the neck. Lovely deep breaths, drawing the breath all the way into the abdomen, feeling with each breath the prana, the life force, filling you up. Soothing, softening, relaxing. And coming back up to sit straight. We'll keep the left leg bent in and we'll take the right leg straight out in front, coming to Janu Shirshasana. Again, sitting up tall on the sit bones, reaching the arms up overhead, reaching through the fingertips to get even longer through the spine, and then folding forward. Keep reaching through the spine and releasing the hands down anywhere they fall, either side of the leg. Keep lengthening through the crown of the head as we fold and soften the torso completely. So we'll keep the leg active with the toes pointing straight up, but softening completely in the upper body, the shoulders, the elbows, the head and the neck. And coming back up, taking the spine straight. We're going to move into another seated pose, bringing the left knee forward to the center and taking the right leg over the top. We'll bring the knees and stack the knees in a line to come into Gomukhasana. So this can be quite challenging for the hips, and if it feels a little bit too much for you today, feel free to just come to our comfortable seated cross-legged position. That will do the trick. So making sure that both feet are out of the way so that the sit bones can sit down onto the mat between the heels. And again, we can either stay here, sitting up nice and tall, or if you'd like to take it a bit further and fold. Lengthening the spine, just folding to wherever feels good, closing the eyes, softening the neck, chin in towards the chest. So forward folding is also very restful and calming for the nervous system. And I don't know if you find, I certainly do, that Not just do we sometimes feel the physical aches and pains, maybe cramps of the menstrual cycle, but also some mental agitation, maybe a little bit of frustration. And these forward folds are excellent to help calm the whole nervous system, and also calming the mind, maybe letting go of some of those agitations and frustrations. That's great. And coming all the way back up to sit. We will uncross the legs and just allowing them to stretch out in front, giving them a little shake if they need it, giving them a little rub. It's always nice to give a little self-massage. Okay, and we'll take the legs wide again, so coming back to Upavishta, legs wide, toes straight up to the ceiling, sitting up nice and straight. So we'll run through the cycle again, this time on the other side. So walking the hands forward and folding just as far forward as feels comfortable for you. Closing the eyes, softening the neck. Deep breaths, keeping the spine long, the toes pointing straight up to the ceiling. Relaxing the arms and the hands, relaxing the torso. Taking the breath deeply into the abdomen, massaging the abdominal area with the breath. Coming back up to sit. Again, we'll help the knees to bend by just picking them up with the fingers, bringing the soles of the feet together to Baddha Konasana, sitting up nice and tall to prepare for the fold. Again, only folding as far as feels good, and closing the eyes, lengthening the spine, softening the head and the neck. As we soften forward, try to keep the shoulder blades squeezing back on your back rather than allowing the shoulders to hunch forward and get arched in the upper back. So keeping the spine nice and straight, even as we find a softness in the head and the neck and the face. Releasing the jaw. And finding our way back up to sit. This time keeping the right leg bent, taking the left leg straight out in front. Coming into Janu Shirshasana on the other side, sitting again on the top or the front of the sit bones, reaching the arms up, fingertips as high as we can, lengthening through the spine and folding forwards. Keep reaching the fingertips as far as you can, coming all the way down or as far as you can, resting the hands down either side of the leg. I find resting the hands down either side of the leg takes away this constant grasping for the feet and the toes. So we don't worry about where we get to on the leg, we don't worry about holding the foot. Just resting the hands down either side and softening the torso, softening the head and the neck, keeping the leg active. And lovely deep breaths, giving the massage to the lower abdominal area, taking the breath there. Each inhale, feeling like we're filling that part of our body with breath, with prana, with blood. Bringing energy and relaxation. Feeling like with each breath we're soothing our bodies, soothing our minds. And slowly coming all the way up. We'll come back to Gormukhasana. So bringing the knee in front, taking the left leg over the top and stacking the knees on top of each other. Moving the heels out of the way so we can sit the sit bones down. So again, if this is a little bit too much for you, sometimes on one side it feels different to the other, just come to our comfortable seated cross-legged position. Either staying up nice and tall, long spine. Or we can start to fold, keeping the shoulders back, closing the eyes, softening the head and the neck. And deep breaths into the abdomen. Allowing each pose, each movement and each breath be nourishing to your body. As if you're offering each movement, each pose with love to yourself. As if it's a little present, gift or a treat to yourself. And coming all the way back up. Releasing the legs again, allowing them to unfold, stretching them out in front, and maybe giving them a little shake or giving them a little rub. Taking the feet back in towards you, either crossing them comfortably or stacking the heels one in front of the other. I'm going to work a little bit into the arms and the shoulders. So inhaling, let's reach the arms all the way up overhead. As we bring the palms together, just twist at the wrists and bring the palms together, hooking the wrists over each other. So gently press the palms into each other, releasing the shoulders down. And releasing the arms all the way down as we exhale. Inhaling, reaching up again. I'm going to do exactly the same thing, but this time bring the other wrist in front. Again, relaxing the shoulders, pushing gently into the hands, so one hand pushing gently into the other. And releasing all the way down. As we release down, hold onto each elbow with each hand behind you. So I'll show you from the side, holding onto each elbow with each hand. Keep the spine long, so try not to arch too much into the lower back. Keep tucking the tailbone under. And keep drawing the shoulders back behind you, shoulder blades in towards each other, opening into the elbows. And then switching sides, so reaching the arms up, allowing the palms to come down through the center line. And again, we'll interlink the hands behind. This time, try to hold on the other way. So if one hand was in front last time, try and take it behind this time, so that we're opening evenly through both sides. So it should just feel a little bit different on the second side. Opening the heart again, squeezing the shoulder blades together, keeping the spine long. So try not to arch too much into the back. Deep breaths, keeping the awareness on the shoulders and the upper arms. That's great, and we'll release again. Inhaling, reaching the arms up. This time as we reach the arms up, we'll take the left hand down the spine. So reaching the fingertips down the spine, using the right hand to help push those fingertips down. So if you're feeling an arch coming to the back like this, lengthen the spine down and try and open the heart with the spine long. So deep breaths here, releasing into that left shoulder. And releasing all the way down. We'll move to the other side, reaching the arms up, palms together. Allowing the right fingertips to travel down the spine, allowing the left hand to help move that right elbow so that we can reach down a little bit further. So keep lengthening the spine. So this balanced action between lengthening the spine, the tailbone long, and opening the chest, drawing the shoulder back behind you. Try to keep the head and the neck in line as well. A tendency to allow the neck to drop forward, but keep lifting the head so that we keep that spine all in one nice straight line. And releasing all the way forwards. So last one whilst we're sitting here with our legs crossed is taking the fingertips just behind the hips, fingers facing forward, squeezing the shoulder blades together on your back and opening the heart forward. And gently releasing. Now we'll straighten the legs out on your mat and we'll come down to lying flat. So straightening the legs out in front of you and coming all the way down on your back. So getting comfortable here on your back, we'll just take a moment to lie totally flat, allowing the body to connect to the mat. Having 2 breaths, softening, relaxing. So for the next pose, we're going to need a block again for a nice gentle support. So we're going to come to bridge pose. So bending the knees, taking the heels towards the sit bones. Keep the feet about hip width distance apart. And we'll take our block to rest underneath the sacrum. So just have the block by your side, arms down either side and lifting up into bridge, gently lengthening the spine, tucking the tailbone under and lifting all the way up. So keeping the hips level if we can, lengthening through the spine. So we'll take the block, and this is where we can support the bridge with the block. So if you can lift the hips up quite high, we can pop the high part of the block exactly on the sacrum, so it keeps lifting up. If that feels a little bit high for you, of course we can rest the block down on its side and come here. So just make sure that you place the block in the spot where you can feel that the sacrum is nice and flat and it's opening the sacrum, not putting any strain on your spine at all. So if you need to have a little fiddle and see how that feels for you, that's absolutely fine. And don't worry if you don't get it quite right first time. So with the hips lifted, supported on the block, we can just rest the arms down by the sides, palms facing up, and we'll take a few breaths here. So here in bridge, we can't practice shoulder stand during the menstrual cycle because we're avoiding inversions. So this allows the body to rest and relax, especially with the support there to help us, as well as energizing the heart, the lungs, the brain, and at the same time, maintaining hormonal balance in the glandular system. So it's a very effective and useful pose during the menstrual cycle. We'll take 2 more breaths here if it's comfortable. Closing the eyes if you like. And then gently removing the block and lowering all the way down onto the mat, keeping the tailbone tucked under, nice long spine, and softening down. So for the next and final pose on our backs, we're going to be using the bolster. So if you have a bolster, that's great. If you don't have a bolster, don't worry, we can still do the pose. Or you can use, this is what I do at home, I use cushions, pillows, blankets, whatever is at hand, and just stack them on top of each other to make this kind of shape. So we'll bring the back of the pelvis right up against the bolster. Bring the feet together in front of you, so we're coming into Baddha Konasana. And then as we lie down, it becomes Supta Baddha Konasana. So lying down on the bolster, so we're resting the spine all the way onto the bolster. So we're totally supported. So for some people, this Baddha Konasana, lying down, does not feel so good on the hips. If that is true for you, feel free to straighten the legs out and relax the legs completely. So here in Baddha Konasana, with the knees gently softening, we can take the arms down by your sides, palms facing up, so we can feel this gentle opening in the chest as the shoulders sink back. To move a little bit more into the shoulders and the upper arms, we can take, we call this cactus arms. So taking the arms a little bit higher so the elbows are more in line with the shoulders and softening the backs of the hands down onto the ground. So keep the spine long. You don't want any pinching or discomfort in the spine. And having a few gentle breaths to soften and relax the body. We'll close the eyes, resting the hands either in cactus pose or down by your side. The other option is to take the hands gently onto your body, onto your torso. So this pose using the bolster is such a lovely restorative pose to practice at this time. It just feels like such a treat. So we'll take a few more breaths here, enjoying the support. And then very, very gently rising back up. We'll move the bolster out of the way. And to prepare for Shavasana, lying back down onto the mat, we'll take one final twist. So hugging the right knee into the chest, allowing it to drop over to the left side. Trying to relax the foot and the leg as much as you can. Taking the right arm out at shoulder height, palm facing up, and gaze over the right fingertips. So don't worry about stretching and twisting the body so deeply here. Just allow the body to totally soften and relax. Drawing the breath deeply into the lungs. Visualizing the breath running all the way down the spinal column as we inhale and draw the breath in, and releasing up through the spinal column as we exhale. The energy and the breath flowing freely up and down the spinal column or the Sushumna Nadi. And we'll come back to center. Moving to the other side, so releasing that leg down. Hugging the left knee in, drawing it in close to the body. And then allowing the knee to roll all the way over to the other side. Taking the left arm out, palm facing up, closing the eyes, relaxing the shoulders. Softening the whole body. Allowing the breath to slow down. Allowing the heart rate to slow down. And gently rolling back to center. We'll take a moment to hug both knees into the chest and giving the body a nice big hug. Before we move into Shavasana, please feel free to do any stretches or adjustments that you feel that you need to do in order to balance your body. And then to take Shavasana, we have the different options. We can stretch the legs out straight, take the arms down by the sides. If it feels a little bit more comfortable, sometimes it does on the lower back, to have the knees bent, taking the feet wide and the knees dropping in towards each other. This is sometimes very relieving to the lower back. If we take this option, we can rest the hands gently, one on the abdomen, one on the chest. Wherever we are, making sure the spine is nice and long with the chin slightly tilting in towards the chest. Make sure we can relax the body completely, letting go of all muscle tension, all muscle energy. And here in Shavasana, we'll bring our awareness back to the breath, filling our awareness completely with our own breath. Take the awareness to the internal experience of your body. Allowing this time to be a time to connect deeply with yourself, to become extra sensitive to how you're feeling, physically, mentally, emotionally. To take steps to soothe, restore, and care for yourself. Approaching yourself, your activities, your daily tasks with the greatest love. Relaxing your whole body. Letting go, sinking into the mat. Relaxing your face, your jaw, forehead, the eyes, cheeks. Feel free to stay resting in Shavasana for as long as you need, as long as you have. Or if you're ready to move and come back to the day, you can join me by hugging the knees into the chest. Giving the body a gentle hug, a squeeze. And gently rolling to your right side. Just resting your head on your hands or your arm. Using your hands with little energy to come all the way back up to sit. We'll keep the eyes closed or a gentle half gaze. Completing the practice. We'll close with a single arm, inhaling together. hands together at the center of your heart. Bowing your head. Namaste. Om Shanti.